Hi, I'm Anne, and I'm so glad to have you joining me in my studio today. This is actually a garden tour, but I'm beginning it in my studio in part because the neighbor kids are playing outside and their dog is barking, and in part because I'm just so excited about my space. I shared a glimpse of it in last month's garden tour. Now I'm fully moved in. I'm still waiting for a few things, but it's been so wonderful to be working here, to be able to look out my windows. This one that is filled with beautiful sunflowers that are beginning to open. And this other one looks out directly into my garden. And this window is going to become a door. So eventually I can take you on a garden tour going right out of my studio. I am so excited about that. Still a couple of months before that happens, but I wanted to give you an update about how things are going. So since this is a garden tour, let's go out in the garden and I'll show you around. We'll start going down the main path from the back door. You can see that everything has filled in so much since last month. The basil has been growing strong and we've been harvesting it. I think we've had 3 big batches of pesto so far, and it's been delicious. All of these pots are so full. My salvias here, there's the pineapple salvia that is taking over the pot that it's sharing with the lemon verbena. The black and blue salvia is looking lovely. There's Clara enjoying the sunshine. I'm always amazed by how quickly things fill in the beginning of this season. Everything looks pretty sparse, and then suddenly all of my beds are overflowing. This one especially, it's a little past its prime, but it's been looking beautiful. One flower I'm especially enjoying in this bed is this Black Knight Scabiosa. I was inspired to plant this after last year I did a commission that involved this flower. It is so beautiful. I grew it from seed and I'm so happy to have it in my garden. So yes, my beds are overflowing. Lots of the time the plants are spilling onto the path, like the nasturtiums ahead of me here. Just looking around the garden, you can see how full everything has gotten, how tall all of the plants are. It is truly, truly a joy to walk through here and be surrounded by plants. I am so excited about my corn. This is Blue Jade. It is an heirloom variety of sweet corn that is miniature. I just spotted the silks of the little ears. I'm not sure how big a harvest I will have, but I'm excited to have anything at all and to see how well it's been growing. It was really an experiment and I didn't know how well it would do. Just past the corn in this bed and in many other beds, I am growing purple poppies. These are Lauren's grape. I have been growing them for years. They are mostly self-seeded and July is their time to shine. They are a favorite of the bees and they glow in the sunshine. I love having them in my garden, and I usually save seeds and I send them in packages to my customers. It's so fun to spread the joy and then also to hear back from customers when the flowers are blooming. Right now they're a bit past their prime and soon I will pull out some of the plants so that I can have room for other things. Let's continue down the path if we can navigate through my nasturtiums. I planted so many seeds and I didn't keep track of what varieties I planted where. I thought all of the varieties I'm growing are low mounding types, but they seem to be getting bigger than that, and some of them are vining. So I guess I was wrong, or the seeds were mislabeled. You can see most of the flowers are hiding underneath the leaves. Some of the varieties that I've grown in the past are called tip top, and the flowers are higher in those, but I love them anyway. It's fun to hunt for them. So this bed over here, this I newly revamped this spring. It's where I have all of my tomatoes, which are doing wonderfully this year. I have trained them all to be single stems, and they are growing up these goat panels. I think that's what they are. They're 4 inches by 4-inch squares, and I have them trained across them. The only ones that have ripened yet so far are the chocolate sprinkles, and I'm really looking forward to the other varieties. In this bed, the eggplants and basil are doing wonderfully. Of course, the nasturtiums. The peppers are doing less well, and I'm not sure why. The amaranth, you can see, that was self-seeded, and I pulled so many of the little babies out, but left some. I may still pull more of these plants out because they are so tall and so big. The dark red variety is Hopi Red Dye. That one I've been growing for years, and it's been self-seeding itself. The other ones this year I think are crosses. I grew giant orange last year and another one that had elephant in the name. I can't remember. And I've gotten some interesting colored leaves. It's fun to have little surprises like this. And like I said in my blog post last month, I like letting the garden have a say. In this bed, I've got the ageratum, which I love, and the butterfly weed, which is full of flowers. Something else that is fun is these beautiful foxgloves. I grew them from seed. These are Dalmatian peach. I also grew a lavender variety. They are blooming now in the stump garden and are so pretty. We'll get over there in a minute. Now we're going to continue along this path and go through the archways. I have some more vegetables growing in these beds here, including my green beans. These are a French variety, and I have flowers, but I haven't had any beans yet. The vines are getting very, very tall and are doing well. On the other side, you can see my garden is a mix of self-seeded plants. There are some tulsi growing in among my lettuces, more poppies. There's some dill growing in by my cucumbers. These are Armenian cucumbers that aren't really cucumbers, but they are a melon. They are not doing so great. There is a cucumber beetle, and these plants don't seem to do well under that pest pressure. I'm going to pull them out. I've been pre-sprouting some pea seeds that I'm going to replace them with. Continuing down this path on the other trellises, you can see my earlier peas. They've been doing really well, and we've been harvesting them. They're still producing, and I'm still harvesting. Along the trellis, I also planted some Thumbergia. This is a pink variety, and I planned to have it take over when the peas finished up, so there would be something pretty to replace those tired vines. Here is the view from the other direction. You can see those very full pots and the sprawling beds on every side of every path. To my left is my peach tree. It is loaded with peaches again this year. Last year I harvested them in, I think it was the end of August or very early September. They still have some time left. I do see a little bit of damage to these peaches. I'm not sure if it's from insects or birds, or what. Last year our peaches were pristine, so I don't know. But I am looking forward to the harvest and hoping that they will all continue to do well. Moving past the peach tree, you can see the beds we already walked through. Here is my yellow summer squash. It's been doing really well this year. Unlike last year, we've been harvesting the fruits and there are more to come, which is exciting. Just beside the summer squash are some sunflowers, and there are my walking onions. They have some big bulbs on top. I've been harvesting the green parts to use as green onions and eating some of the bulbs as well, which has been very tasty. I'm probably going to replant some of the larger plants with the little bulbs at the end of the season to have some fresh plants. In the next bed over, I have my actual cucumbers. These are silver slicer, and they're doing well despite the insect damage. There's always cucumber beetles on the plants. I don't see too many female flowers, so I don't think we're going to get a big harvest, but there should be some. I see one little cute baby cucumber coming. The next bed over is new, and it too is filled with eggplant. All the eggplants I'm growing this year are Millionaire. They are so delicious and doing really well, despite the fact that the Japanese beetles seem to like them. Just past this area is the patio, and beyond that is the grassy area that will become a deck, and that window which will become the door to my studio. Again, I am so excited, and I'll be sure to share the progress with you. On the patio, I have some pots, including these beautiful snacking orange peppers, and some more tomatoes. These are a cherry, I think it's Patio Choice Yellow, and we've been enjoying these and the chocolate sprinkles so far. I'm looking forward to the other ones ripening. I'm also looking forward to my dahlias. I have so many that I'm waiting to bloom, and it's fun to watch the big buds get bigger and bigger until finally they burst. Sadly, the Japanese beetles like them too, but let's just ignore that for now. I love this path on the south end of the garden, especially when the morning light is filtering through the trees, and it's really magical to be surrounded by gardens on all sides. Here are more nasturtiums and more dahlias. This is groovy, and I'm really enjoying it. I love the dark foliage, and the color is really interesting. I'm still waiting for some lilies, and when they bloom, they will smell so good. I guess most of my beds have plants spilling out of them. Walking this way to the right, you can see the foxgloves planted by the stump and my columnar apple trees. There's also another dahlia here. This one is Cheers. I overwintered it as a tuber, and it's such a happy flower. Beside it is another tuber I had overwintered. This one is Diva, but no flowers on that one yet. I love mixing all sorts of plants together. Here is a pretty zinnia. This one is lemon peach. I'm enjoying the subtle variations in color of these flowers, and the hummingbirds and butterflies love them too. I also stuck a few sweet peas in this bed and have them growing on tomato spirals. It's kind of funny, but I just stick plants wherever there's room. In the spring, I get carried away. I'm loving this fire pit garden filled with snapdragons and sweet peas. The sweet peas smell so good, and I keep bringing more and more inside. Over in the next bed is my cherry bush. The squirrels got most of the cherries this year. The squirrels have also been digging a lot in my garden, including in this bed where I have more amaranth, some sunflowers, some cosmos planted beside the bee balm. All of those things I grew from seed, and the squirrels kept digging up both the plants and the seeds, but I think I will get some flowers. Even so, there is so much beauty throughout the garden, and it brings me so much joy. I love taking a look at the garden from different directions and seeing all the different views. One other thing I want to point out before I end is my mullein plant. It has gotten so tall and the flowers are so interesting looking. My garden brings me so much joy. I guess that's all for today's tour. Thanks so much for joining me in the garden today. I hope you've enjoyed looking around. My little chickadee friend is wishing you well and sending you joy. I'll see you next time.